I mean, Mike's got his own testing situation that he does, which I really don't look at it very much, to be honest with you. When we work exclusively with them from a football perspective, really the whole month of June. I kind of made coaches get out of here in July. They don't need to be sick of us. We're never going to get sick of them, but they don't need to be sick of us when this starts. So, the first 2 days that we had were basically the same thing that we did in June. So they seem to be in good shape. It was a three-hour practice as opposed to a 30-minute practice, which is all we can have in June. But they had a lot of retention. From a testing point of view, from coaches and stuff like that, there was a lot of retention. Even with the young kids, all the new guys that we're trying to evaluate and all that, shoot, those guys know where they're going, and that's gonna make it easier to be able to figure out if they can help us play right away or not. The old days, you taught these guys what to do right now, and now we're not really teaching them a whole lot of what to do. It's more about the technique and seeing if they can handle the competition.
What makes this year different than last year and maybe previous years?
Maturity, more than anything.
Where is it there?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. I'm much more comfortable with what I'm doing. I go back to last year, being in a little bit different role last year. This conversation could last a long time as far as, we weren't exactly where we wanted to be last year at this point in time. I didn't know how game day was going to go, for me, just because it was a different role and all that. And, we've got a lot of continuity with the coaching staff. We got a lot of older, mature players. Just from an overall maturity point of view, I think this team is light years ahead of any of the teams that I've had since I've been here.
Can you put your finger on a couple of things that you have to get accomplished here? That's a tricky question. There's all kinds of things that we got to do. It doesn't matter what side of the ball that we're focused on or talking about. Biggest thing's health and continuity. The NCAA's kind of scaled back on what we can do, how we practice, and what kind of practices we can have, and how long we have. So, I'm glad we have a mature team based on not having as many practices available to us. That should maintain health as well. So, probably the biggest thing is we gotta get lucky. Ball's got to bounce our way. So I want that to happen again.
The way you're allowed to practice now, you get enough done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The one they took away some of the total practices that we have, but they gave us like some morning walkthroughs and they gave us some summer as well. So a lot of the stuff that we were teaching and working with in summer and some of the morning walkthroughs and stuff like that, then one of the compromises is the amount of time that you have getting ready for your first game is going to get reduced. The amount of practice days that you have is going to get reduced, but you get a whole lot of other stuff that we didn't used to have. So, I'm excited to see the physicality and the technique with pads and stuff like that. We haven't been able to see that since spring. From where we're at mentally, I feel pretty good about that.
With the new redshirt rule, do you evaluate those newcomers differently, even starting right now, than you have?
We absolutely do. Yeah, we may go through 3 or 4 weeks of practice, get going into that first game, and say, still don't know if he can play, because there's a big difference between practicing out here and then when those lights come out there. and so sometimes you can figure it out, and sometimes you guess wrong, and sometimes it takes guys another 2 months or so to be able to mature, to be able to help us. So I think that redshirt rule is one, awesome for the kids, but it helps us as coaches to the point where it's not just a do or die situation. Either make a decision now or live with it later. So there's a bunch of different scenarios that are going to play into it. And one of the biggest things that I like as a head coach is to keep the attention of the scout teams. I can say, look, you're on scout team right here, but we are constantly evaluating you. And if you do what like David Sills did, which is go to scout team and play really, really well, then we're going to pull you up on the quote-unquote varsity team. probably would have did that to David Long after we couldn't block him for about 8 weeks when he was being redshirted. And then we all know the Petaway story as well. Somebody gets hurt and you need a body. Well, there isn't a 2-hour conversation with the kid and his parents about, okay, look, we're going to burn your red shirt, but we really, really, really need you. So it's good all the way around for players and coaches.
How is David Long and it's coming back?
Good. He looks the same. He looks the same. So, I don't even know who else was hurt, to be honest with you. But we got Pauls and Ferns are out. And there's another deal. Those guys are going to come back with about 4 weeks left to play. Well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and play them. Ferns ain't going to need a red shirt. He's going to end up having 18 doctorate degrees before he leaves here. But a guy like Qualls, who's a fourth-year senior, he can come back and play in the last 4 games, and then we'll be able to use him again next year. So it's a great deal for him. Those 2 guys are out. Other than that, everybody's healthy and ready to go.
From your standpoint, how important is this person depth chart you put out?
I don't even know if I have a depth chart. Did we put one out?
One.
I think we do that because we have to. How many times have I said I love putting out depth charts? I just told the guys in there we have a group 1 punt team, a group 2 punt team, and a group 3 punt team. So I won't use depth charts. And with all these young kids and new kids and stuff, they got to understand that they may have people in front of them, but you work hard and try to beat them out. I don't look at depth charts until the week before the game. I don't talk about redshirting. It'll be different now, but I don't talk about redshirting until the week before the first game.
And assuming best case scenario, and you win games, throughout the first 3 quarters of the season, are you a little disappointed that they've loaded you up with TCU, Oklahoma State, and Texas, and then Oklahoma? Well, Oklahoma played Kansas the week before.
I don't know our schedule. I think we play Kansas State our first Big 12 game. I think. I know the first 3 non-conference games, especially one against Tennessee and Charlotte. That's all I've looked at this point. Does us no good to look at that. It does us no good. Look, the thing about the Big 12, you're playing everybody every year. So when you play them, doesn't matter. You all got to play them. So it doesn't matter to us. We never. Our analysts get a week ahead, but coaches and players do not get a week ahead. And we'll start talking about Tennessee probably 2 weeks before the first game, and then we'll start talking about Youngstown after that.
Personnel-wise, any additions, subtractions?
For what?
Personnel-wise with the team.
I don't know. You put it on the roster, don't you? You put it on that. Nothing that comes to mind.
Then you mentioned the between playing practice here and in games. Is there a similar gap between the summer work you talked about, this first day in pads? Some guys that just shine better when the pads go on?
Yeah. I don't know who they are. We'll figure it out.
That's the reason for
They're
the
going to be charging through here in about 6 minutes, and I'm anxious to watch. The older guys, we kind of know where they're at, but the newer guys run around in shorts and they look good with a helmet on.
Did you change or adapt second year with Jake? Anything you did during the summer that you didn't do year 1 when you were getting acclimated again?
No, not really. There's a lot of similarities and a few differences with what I did and how he did it. We're kind of merging the two, and there's some things that we looked at and understand that we got to bring up. Between me and the other coaches, and probably Will more than anything. We've made some changes and some adjustments that I think are going to be beneficial. It's year 2 with Will. It's year 2 with Jake. It's year 2 of them 2 together. It's year 2 of me with my role. It's year 2 with Wick. So year 2 is always better. This will be better more so.
And with Will's hand up, everything looks okay?
Yeah. It's fine in January.
How do you and Jake split your dealings with Will?
He coaches them. I just sit there and try to help
You know, if they want to bounce ideas off of me, then they can bounce ideas off of me. I coach Will from behind. I don't get it. I don't want to say something that contradicts what he says.
It's not hands off, but
It's like I hear everything, and I'm not going to question anything. It's Jake's job to coach Will. He's doing a great job of that. And two got an unbelievable relationship. Their working relationship is really, really good. Their off the field relationship is really good. It's ironic. They're both married. They both have young children, and they get along well.
son's gonna marry his daughter.
You think so?
Could be.
Hey, Dan, you said you're obviously more comfortable this year than perhaps any of the previous. What was your general theme in your staff meetings leading up to the start of practice among your coaches that was different from a year ago? Because I would imagine, because of the sense of familiarity, everyone's more comfortable. What's the overall theme going into this camp?
We understand continuity, and we appreciate continuity. There's, you know, it's becoming a rare thing in college football. You know, whether it's an entire new coaching staff or like we've had to deal with here, replacing a whole side or 6 position coaches or whatever it is. I mean, we understand, we know, and we appreciate continuity, and understand we have a very mature group. So there's a lot of excitement within us. You know, there's been times where I didn't really want vacation to end, and we were all excited when vacation ended. We were all ready to get to work.
How do you keep a group that's got expectations humble?
You better be old. Yeah, you better be old. If you got immature people, then that's almost impossible. So you know, we all understand expectations, but for me, there's expectations every year. I mean, I've been around it long enough to understand that. But for young coaches and for a whole team, you better have some strong leaders that understand how to handle that, and we do. You know, we got a dozen or so old guys that I feel really good about it, and they have a very strong presence, and they're going to make sure this team does what they need to do.
Big picture guys too. They understand the big picture.
Yeah, they do. You know, I've had a lot of talks with them and all that, and all we're focused on is game one. But you know, with that said, we understand that it's a long season. So you know, get ready to do things the right way for a long time. You know, because 4 months goes quick, but there's a lot that happens in 4 months.
Evan Staley was the guy that came in as a rock one. Now he's focused on. What has he done the last few years to get to this point?
Well, he's athletic, you know, and he's got a really good mindset. You know, the talent level's there. He's really developed himself into a really good kicker. You know, so he's our guy, and you know, from a maturity standpoint and athletic standpoint, he's where you want him to be.